heck is a segundo volante? All these jobs I've been applying for, I was finally happy to see that somebody was offering a job, and then I looked and realized it was a job I hadn't even applied for. It was for Dila Gori, who are 10th in the National League at the moment. They're a larger club. They have 1,500 season ticket holders, but their facilities are about the same as ours. Their finances are insecure. It just wouldn't be a good move. It's not even what I would consider to be a lateral move per se. I mean, our finances are okay. We're worth 393,000 euros. Granted, we only have 266 season ticket holders. But they're worth less than we are. Their finances are insecure, and they're fighting relegation. And I'm sorry, if I'm going to be in a relegation fight, it's not going to be in this league. I'll take a team in another league and do what I can to keep them from the basement and maybe do a good job. We'll have to wait and see. I've applied for a few of those teams, but no one's nibbled yet. I did, however, just get my National A license. My National A? Is it my National A? Profile. Come on, profile. Reputation, National A. Oh, those have gone up quite a bit. Literally, I am not seeing it on here, and I'm probably looking right at it. No youth caps. Shouldn't... Reputation, National is... Personality, Slack. That's interesting. I don't know that I've seen that before. Continental C. So I have my National A. We'll see what the board says. I mean, they know I'm applying left and right for jobs. If they let me start a course, they let me start a course. Hey, they let me start it. 4 months. Yeah, I have a National A. Good gracious. I wonder if that's what's holding me back from some of these jobs, is the fact that I just don't have the coaching thing for them. Like this FC Hermstadt job, this is in the Romanian First League. And they're a fairly decent-sized club, but they are we'll click here real quick. They're in a relegation fight, and this would be a job I would be more than happy to take because I think I would have a decent chance of saving this club from relegation. You got teams like Vitorial down in relegation as well. They've come up a couple of times as having an open job, but there's no way I'm getting that job anytime soon. I'll apply for it, but there's no way I'm getting it anytime soon. So, anywho, the past few games... where were we last? We were Sam Gurley against Morani. We beat them 1-0 thanks to a Gasanov goal in the 52nd minute. Talavi beat us 3-1. Altunishvili had a goal, but they were just too powerful for us. And enough of our players had a bad game. It was just not worth it. Dila, we actually beat, and then they came and said, hey, come coach us. Kenalaki had a hat trick's worth of goals. Altunishvili had a goal. Dinamo Tbilisi, this was a banger of a match. We actually got FM'd. I mean, there's no other way to put it. We were, let's see here. Let's click here real quick. Yeah, so at one point, we were up 5-2 right here, and they got 3 goals in the 77th, the 84th, and the 93rd minute to claw the drawback. It was absolutely infuriating. This is the second game now this season that we've lost due to an FM goal, and it's just it stinks. And Tbilisi's a really good squad. They are one of the best teams in the league. They're currently fighting it out for first. There's 3 teams fighting it out for first that are within 4 points of each other. We're currently in 4th place, but we're 1, 2, 3. I'll call it 4 teams. From Sam Gurley to us, we're fighting it out for 4th spot, 4th through 7th spots. Dinamo Tbilisi, Cybert Hollow, and Dinamo Batumi are all fighting it out for the top spot. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, we just absolutely got FM'd again. So today we're playing Shevardini Tbilisi, and then we're going to play Rustavi. And we were literally just looking at that. So Shevardini's to actually fallen down a little bit. Rustavi's just below us, so this is going to be a key game. But, if we do well against Shevardini and then do well against Rustavi, we'll solidify our hold on 4th place. It's going to take a lot for us to jump up into these top spots here, and I don't think we're going to. So that said, we're playing our 4-2-4 today. We got Asetiano in goal, Chikradze, Karlashvili, Genelidze, and Alani as the defensive back four, Kidiashvili and Chetsuruli as the midfielders, Erglemidze and Gabuni as the attack midfielders, Kandalaki and Kabiashvili as the forwards up top. I am getting a little bit of rotation going. For an example, I promised Gasana. Where'd he go? I promised Gasanov I would get him some starting time. Patsatsi needs some starting time. For some reason, when I do the, hey, assistant coach, pick some players for me, he does some weird things like, hey, here's a 16-year-old striker that I don't need on the bench. I'd much rather have, like, a defensive left back or something like that. So, but I feel comfortable enough with our depth now that I can afford to rest one or two players at a time. Put them on the bench, bring them in if I need to. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck a slack personality is. And it's snowing. Oh, why wouldn't it? It's Georgia in the wintertime. Chikradze on the throw, and Erglemidze, Kandalaki rounds the defender one. Kabiashvili's there to get the deflection from the goalkeeper and puts it away. That was nice. Bit of a lucky break, but sometimes it's what you need. Kandalaki just ran right across the front of the 6-yard box. Tvardovsky. One of those. Did good to block Kandalaki's shot, but the rebound went right to my other player who had no problem scoring. I'm totally blanking on his name, and I just literally watched him score. Globa. Dispossessed, but he gets it back. Makaroblidze gets it. Passes up in space for Kabiashvili, hits the post, and Chikradze just bangs it out of bounds. Chikradze intercepts that, gets up to Kandalaki. He blows by the defender. He's got 5 chasing him. Is he going to round the keeper? He is! That was nice. His 13th goal of the season. Just caught the defender flat-footed. They all closed on him too late. From the 2D, it looked like it was some sort of deflection, but in the 3D, it wasn't. Alania to Kabiashvili. Back to Alania. He tries sending her in. Kandalaki, very nice first touch. Chikradze holds it up, drives forward. Gabuni is there, and he scores his 5th goal of the season. He's been kind of my jack of all trades, master of none. He's not a full-time starter, but he can play all 3 advanced midfielder positions and the midfielder position fairly well. And he's gotten starts at both and playing time at both wings and at center mid. We are 33 minutes in the game, and we are 3 up on Shevardini. That is nice. Chikradze on the throw-in. Kandalaki. Kitiashvili knocked away by Kulinic. Chetsuruli dawdled, and Karabashvili got the ball. Globa, 1-on-1, and Astiani blocks it, and Genelidze just knocks it out of bounds. Kabiashvili got the first goal. Chikradze on the throw, and Chetsuruli heads it down to Alania. Oh, he loses it. Kalandia, blows by my defender. 1-on-1 with Asetiani, and he stands tall, blocks it. It's a corner kick to Shevardini. Outswinger, Genelidze knocks it down to Erglemidze, who just kicks it up into space. No one in a Choktar uniform there at all. And that is half with a 3-0 lead, thanks to 6 shots, 5 on target. We are doing really well. No highlights this second half so far. We're just past... we're close to 65 minutes. We are going to make a couple changes here. Erglemidze picked up a knock. When did that happen? Potential groin injury. Ouch. I'm cringing just kind of seeing that. We're going to swap him with Gabunia because Gabunia can play. Gabunia's preferred position's on the left. Erglemidze is going to come off. Altunishvili is going to come on. We're going to make him his preferred winger on attack. Chetsuruli we're going to get off and bring on Genelidze. Anyone else? For the moment, no. I don't remember seeing anything about Urgulamize being injured. Usually you get something that pops up. Hopefully it's not too serious. Kurianadze. Chubanidze drops it off to Paralava. Centers it to Yarchuk, but Asatiani's there. Nice save. Throw in for Tbilisi. Yarchuk. Kidiashvili steps in front of that. Kandelaki ends up with the ball. He drives forward, blows by the number 4 again. He's got help. Is he going to use it? He is. Kabiashvili's there and hits the post. Holy cow. God, Dinamo Tbilisi is absolutely stomping on Dila. Chikradze on the throw to Kandelaki. Kabiashvili has it down to Alania. And he gives it away to Tavadze. Tavadze gives it away. Altunishvili has it down to Janilidze, who tries kicking it up into space. There's no one in a Bochari, but Bakmaro uniform there. Jiminy. Janilidze up to Kandelaki. And he absolutely wrong-foots the keeper, puts it away for his 2nd goal of the game and his 14th of the season. Bakmaro Chokaturi. Which, the more I look at it on satellite, is actually a pleasant little village of about 3,000 people. A lot of skiing in the area, right on the river. Whew, okay. God, Dinamo scored 8. And that is the game. A 4-0 shutout of Shevardini Tbilisi. 10 shots, 7 on target, only 2 off target, the 1 woodwork hit. They're saying only 2 clear-cut chances. That seems kind of odd. Kandelaki, another solid game. 2 goals and an assist. 2 days before Christmas. This is a nice way to go into the Christmas break. Midze out 5 to 8 days. So now, surprise result leads the way. Yeah. So this is kind of the situation of where we stand at the moment in terms of scouting. I have not scouted a ton of older players because I want to sign younger players to the squad. And a lot of the older players are already on squads. If they are older and they're not on a squad and they're good, that kind of has me questioning why. Now you have a guy like Georgi Omarishvili, who is pretty darn nice. The problem is he wants a ton of money. And plus, I'm already kind of stacked at the striker position. If he's available at the end of the season, and for whatever reason we're still here, we might make an offer for him. But then you have players that kind of fall into... everybody kind of grades out, mid-70s, which, frankly isn't bad. Players like Luka Tadua and Vashka Abs Hanadadze, you bring in on trial for 2 weeks, you see what they are. So, a player like Kukianadze, I looked at earlier in the season, and he wanted €1,000 a week. And granted, money-wise, we're doing really well. We're spending about 50% of our payroll. It's just we're also now $200,000 in the red again. And admittedly, if somebody wants to come along and pay a decent amount of money for, say someone like, let me sort by age here. Ignore my youth players. Well, don't even ignore my youth players. If somebody wants to come along and offer me money for Abkhazava, yeah, I said that right, Abkhazava or Kandelaki or Mkhitaryan, or even Bakhtazi, if somebody wants to offer me, here's €100,000 up front that could possibly be €350,000, I will definitely not say no. So we got a decent sized squad now. We got a decent amount of depth. And in all honesty, I haven't spent near the amount of time scouting for this save that I've done on other saves. If this was a single club save, I'd be spending probably an hour or two an afternoon just doing some scouting and doing some different things scouting-wise, setting up a screen flow and things like that to see if I can't get a heads up on some younger players in other parts of the world that could possibly be future buys. With a Journeyman, I don't know that that's really worth it. Not until we get to one of the bigger clubs, maybe. So, but the screen flow is absolutely fabulous. You can set that up. It's free scouting, is what it is. You get results. You're not going to, you're not going to be able to leave the country, but essentially, hey, here's the French U19 tournament. Here's the top players. Here's the, you're looking at particular statistics and how, their goals and their assists and things like that. And, why is this 17-year-old from Croatia making starts on the Croatian senior squad? Players like that stand out, and sometimes you'll notice them before other teams will, and you can get your foot in the door sooner and do a really good job of scouting them beforehand. I've had, who was it? 2 years ago, Helio was a guy in Brazil that my scout found. I looked at him and I said, this guy is really, really good. He has the potential to be really, really good. And I signed him. And 3 years later, he was off to PSG because they offered him a ton more money. So this was the this wasn't the Kaiserslautern save. This was 2 years ago. I'll be honest, I don't remember the save. That's nothing new for me. I'd have to check it up again. I've still got all the FMs on my computer. I should probably load them up and just take a look and see what's going on. So, with my luck, though, I'll get caught back in my FM17 save. That was the first big save I played, and I just had a really fun time with it. I lucked out. I got a couple really good players, including a striker I've talked about in past saves, too. His name's Peter Kolar, best player in the world at the end of the save. Is, won me 5 Champions Leagues in 6 years, sort of thing. So, anyhow, I'm rambling. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's times when it's not a good thing either. This is one of those times. So we are going to transition here to the next match. I will be back in just a bit. Well, the job hunt is ongoing, it being the January transfer window for a lot of leagues. There's a lot of jobs out there. So, fingers crossed, maybe we'll get an interview or two. I'm not banking on anything happening, though. Savage Interadze sprained his knee ligaments. He's out for probably about 6 weeks. So it's the only thing of note that's happened. Luckily, I have a decent amount of depth now. So Kabiashvili will be replacing him. Erglemidze can always switch up top. Gabunia can come over with Altunishvili coming on as well. You know what? Let's do this real quick. Quick pick. See what happens. That is actually not that bad. Although I told Gosnoff I would start him, so he is going there. We want Ekveldiani on for Kazrashvili. So I haven't targeted any one team or area I'd like to go. Whoever wants to hire me can hire me. The board saw that I was interested in a couple of jobs and offered me a new contract, which I signed gladly. I mean, there's no reason for me not to. The last thing I want to be is unemployed for any amount of time. Chikradze up to Erglemidze. Back to Chikradze. Ekveldiani lofts it forward to no one in a Bakamara uniform in particular. Kikibidze loses the ball, gets it back, weaves through the players, and ends up sending it to Balajishvili, who scores. That was annoying. Balajishvili just got in right behind the defender there, and on the other hand, I was able to schedule a bunch of friendlies for the weeks we're not playing, and we're actually making a little bit of money off of that. Chikradze blows by the defender. Erglemidze takes the shot, and we get it back a couple minutes later. His 4th goal of the season. He no longer wants to move to a big club. I guess apparently now we're a big club, which in Georgian football terms, we kind of are. We're in the 1st division. We're doing really well. Oh, we've got that graphical thing where in the 2D the ball is orange, but in the 3D it's pink. Always a fun time. If we can win this game today, we open up the lead and kind of put a stranglehold on 4th place. the hardest part of our schedule we've actually played through, as Chikradze was fouled. Yeah, they're calling that a dubious decision, but you know what? I'll take a dubious decision in my favor. Alanya. And he slots it past a diving keeper, and we go up 2-1. I mean, there's only 5 games left in the season after this. So the chances, and if we beat Rustavi, we go 7 points ahead of them, 6 points ahead of them. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. 6 points ahead of them. So it would take quite a bit for us to not finish in 4th place, I would think. Which is cool. That's European football. It's not like, it's like Euro Cup 2 third qualifying round football, but still, it's European football. You can't complain about that. Squad seems to be doing okay. Kanalaki's on a 6-6. It's released on a 6-5. Gasnov's on a 6-4. Come on, guys. Let's pick it up. No highlights this second half so far. We're about 60 minutes in, so we are going to make a couple of changes. Gasnov's going to come off. Hotunishvili's going to come on. You know, we're going to get Ruglamidze off and bring on Gabunia as well. And we're going to get Kandelaki off and bring on Devradini. He's a youngster I signed a couple years ago who's physically fairly gifted. Mentally, he's lacking in a couple of areas, but his off the ball is improved. His decision making is improved. His dribbling and his first touch and his heading are nice. His technique is okay. So he plays a decent advanced forward. So we'll see how he does in playing time here. Wow, no highlights this second half so far. And it looks like it's going to be the second half. Well, okay. Alanya on the throw-in. Altunishvili back to Alanya. Over to Janelidze. All the way over to Chikradze, but Nunkiashvili steps in front of it, intercepts the ball, drives forward, passes it up to Barlajashvili, and they equalize. It's these long passes across the field, and the players just wait for the ball to come to them, and they should know better. And we draw. That's annoying. That's really annoying. We weren't FM this time, but still. Take a look at the table here and then figure out what we're going to do. Yeah, the table looks at the moment. We're currently in 4th place, but we're going to have to go to the screen here. Yeah, now we're 3 points ahead. So we really could have helped ourselves. Instead, we made it a little bit harder for ourselves. But schedule-wise, as I mentioned earlier, there's literally 5 games left in the National League. So I think what we're going to do is just play through the rest of the season and come back for the Morani game. We might do the Dilla game as well if it's one of those cases where we can clinch a playoff spot in between there. So unless something happens between now and then, that's what we're going to do. We're going to come back for the Morani game, do an end-of-season review, see what's out there in the job market. As much as I've enjoyed my time here in Georgia, and I have, it's been an interesting league to play in. It's time to move on. I've been applying for jobs. It's time to move on. I don't want this to be a single club save by any stretch of the imagination. I've got my job offers. I've got my I'm hitting the job center every few days now because it is January. As you can see, I've applied for a ton of jobs in some very nice divisions and even some not so nice divisions. Like this is a Pava job in the Czech second division. They're a solid squad. They're a little bit larger. The league's a little bit higher than ours. This would be a nice job for us, I would think. So, you know what? We just have to keep our fingers crossed, see what happens, and go from there. So that said, a really good game against Shevardini, a heartbreaker game against Rustavi. We just gave it away at the end. We could have helped ourselves. Instead, we kind of stayed in place. We got some friendlies scheduled. As I get close to March, I'll schedule some more friendlies. We're actually making about 3,000 euros off of this, which is nice. Every little bit helps, especially when you consider the fact that we're still hemorrhaging money. We're almost 300,000 euros in debt now, and I suspect the board's going to have to inject some money to keep us afloat. So this is one of the other reasons I'm looking at moving on. Unless I get into the business of turning around players and selling them, we need to go to a club where our income is going to be at least on the right side of neutral. You know, if it's only a couple €1,000 a year profit, or we only lose a couple €1,000 a year, I'm okay with that. It's this overall balance that keeps going down and going down and going down with no hopes of raising it up unless I sell a youth player that I just can't stay here long term. So, otherwise we're doing really well on the wage budget. We got a transfer budget. I doubt we'll be using that in the summertime if we're still here. But like I mentioned in previous episodes, I'm not going to leave the team high and dry. I'm still going to do what I can to improve it. I'm going to do what I can to make sure they stay up after I leave. And, a few years from now, if we're in another job, we'll come back, take a look, see how they're doing. Hopefully they can stay up. In the meantime, we're going to keep our nose to the grindstone. We're going to keep our nose to the grindstone. This club is in the National League. I'm here to keep the National League. We are aiming for Champions League football. I should say not Champions League football, European football. And I think we have an outside chance of doing it. Mid-table finish is still fine. I'm okay with that, but we've put ourselves in a nice position to qualify for Champions League football. European football. Champions League is a long way away. We'll get there eventually. I'm no doubt we will get there eventually. Won't be with this club, but we'll get there eventually. So, that said, this first hobby game is just going to grate on me for a while. But if you did like what you've seen or heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM Jellico, and I thank you for watching.